Hello and welcome back to OpenTTD, where we are looking today at one of our older stations, the Plutfield Hotel. Even though it's not really there for a hotel, it is here for the massive amounts of metal, of course, that we are producing here. And it is the last station that is part of the subnetwork of, well, this massive roundabout station that we got going over there that is not upgraded. Well, that was because a long time ago, and well, even still a little bit to this day, Plutfield wasn't really liking us, but as time goes by, they start to come around, and now they're liking us a lot more. Enough, at least, for us to be able to do some terraforming here, and hopefully enough that we can upgrade the station and, well, have the the ratings for iron ore mines and all that be upgraded so that they too can be at gung-ho quadruple production all the time. Now, before we get to that, of course, last time we were busy with getting stuff upgraded over here, and let me just show you that, yeah, we are quite in the heavy production of farm supplies over here. We have plenty of engineering supplies, and pretty much everything is consistently gung-ho quadruple on at least this side of the transit hub that we got going over here. On the other side over here, there is plenty of engineering supplies, but well, the distribution of them takes like forever. So things like all the way back here, where it's like really far, they're not upgraded to gung-ho quadruple production yet, because we just need to let time do its thing, and eventually I'm pretty sure they will be gung-ho quadruple. But yeah, the supplies need to trickle in on a consistent basis, and once that has happened, I'm pretty sure that we'll have a maximum coal production everywhere, and thus an insane amount of production over here, which is all nice and hunky-dory. Now, that's what we were doing last time, and well, I kind of want to touch a little bit up on the agenda of SpeedyNet, because you as the viewer and the shareholder of the company, I've heard it quite a few times now, like, yeah, and the passengers, what about them, huh? I mean, passengers can't get to anywhere pretty much from like this line, there's like no services for them whatsoever. Fear not, I have not forgotten about the passengers. It's just that, well, this was part of a grander scheme, and that's kind of like the agenda thing that I'm touching upon. When we started down over here with the iron ore, the plan was to make iron ore into metal, make that into farm supplies, which would then go to the forests, which in turn would produce a lot of wood, which would be turned into timber. And that timber would then be put into engineering supplies once more, which would then fuel our coal operation and a future, which has not happened yet, quarry operation, which then in turn would lead to massive amounts of farm supplies, which we then would in turn use to boost up the production of like all the farms around this region. At least, I mean, we could bring them to these fishing grounds and to wherever we like, really. But seeing how passengers has been put on the agenda by numerous shareholders of the company, I'm willing to shuffle the agenda around a little bit, because as it stands, currently the coal part of this operation is set. We're still in, well, that was kind of like the next thing I wanted to do, was hook up the quarries. And then from that point onwards, move on to the farms. And when that was done, then on the agenda were the passengers. But of course, I mean, they all gotta happen. And in what order they happen, I guess it doesn't really matter that much. The thing is though, that the farm supplies, I mean, we're gonna have a lot of them. And I do plan to distribute them all from this point, perhaps spread them out to some regional hubs and from there on transport them, so we don't have insane amounts of traffic over here with all small trains, you know, as well. This station, sure, it can handle a lot, but there's a limit, and when we've reached the limit of this station, there's no upgrading it, as this is the maximum size. And I know I could upgrade well, you know, the maximum station size, but really I feel that this is the most that I want to play with, you know. I don't want it to be any larger, even though we could do that. I don't feel like doing so. Having said that, we are going to shuffle things up a little bit. I do want to finish this part off, just because I don't like having work being half done laying around. We had to wait over here, but now that the time is right, I want to fix it just so that I can say, yeah, we got the iron operation all running, you know, like it's supposed to, as it, you know, contrary to how it is right now, it is not, because this station is rather inefficient. That is one thing. So yeah, we're gonna fix this up, and then we're gonna take a look at passengers. Hooray! I mean, it's gonna be done at some point anyway, so, you know, why not right now? The other thing that I want to touch upon is the fact that I haven't been sitting idle twisting my thumbs either. Let's take a look at this. Let's take a look at this. See all these arrows over here? I thought that, like, after setting up all the coal stuff, you know, with the supplies and whatnot, I was like, you know, quite a lot of time has passed, and perhaps we do have quite a few new engines and whatnot, and as it turns out, we have quite a few new locomotives to play around with, and a lot of them are actually better than what we're using right now. So, the most notable changes are that, for the most part, I don't really know of a good example to show you, but for the most part, I've gone with the, I'll show you over here in the list. What I've done mostly was I've replaced most of the American thingies for the Atlantic thingies, because they're just as fast, but they got slightly more power, and they're like 2% less reliable. I'm like, no, you know what, I mean, we can deal with this, that's not an issue. So I've upgraded most of those. I've also switched out most of the Mogul engines for more powerful ones, so that's a thing. But the biggest one is that when we go to the passengers, and I don't think, because I did it on when everything was, what? Oh wait, these are electric ones. For a moment I thought that these did not have a locomotive, but of course that is not true. Now, the biggest upgrade that we've done over here is that when we go to this list, most of these are going to be upgraded to the very fast 462 Pacific Steam, which is from another train set. I mean, 152 kilometers an hour, it's gonna be massively upgraded in terms of speed and in terms of power. Not so much in terms of reliability, but it's all above the 75% lower limit that I've set for myself. And one thing that I did came across was that the Mountain, you know, the 482 Mountain, is like a really nice engine. It's powerful and it's fast, but I was just like, this is too low for reliability for me to accept. So I would have loved to, instead of taking the Atlantic, take this one, as it's far more powerful, but because it's so unreliable, I decided not to. Over here there's not any viable trains to pick from when it comes to upgrading, because, well, this one's slow, this one's really weak, and this one is super fast but not really that powerful. And we don't, well, it's slightly more powerful than the Atlantic over here, but the thing is that what do we need that speed for? Well, it's very expensive to run. I mean, look, 36,000 a year versus 16,000 a year, you know, that's a huge difference. So if it's not needed, I'm not going to use them. Besides, most of the wagons can't go faster than 96 or 128, which makes, you know, this amount of speed pretty much pointless except for the passengers. Now, I've also taken to heart the fact that, and that is something someone pointed out in the comments, that apparently for these express wagons, you know, the yellow ones, apparently, and I wasn't aware of this, you don't need cabooses at the back of them. So in the replace vehicle thingy, it's not only locomotives that you can change, you can also change the wagons, and as you can see, I've set them all to be changed to the express cars. So that might be a bad decision because of the capacity issues. We'll have to see. For most of it, I think we're covered in terms of the amounts, but we'll have to see how it turns out. If it isn't covered, we're gonna see a massive decrease in production, but I'll know how to fix it, you know. It's gonna take time, but I think it's worth it, you know, the speed increase that we're gonna get because the caboose factor is taken off. It's gonna be worth it quite a lot. Also, if we go over here, I believe that I did choose to replace all of these locomotives with the fastest one, the Pacific Steam. So we should get a hefty amount of speed increase versus a slightly less capacity, which I think, you know, when you calculate all that stuff at the bottom of the line, I think we will have a net gain rather than a loss in effective capacity. You could do numbers on that. I chose not to. I thought, you know what, let's take the gamble. So that's what I did in the meantime. However, I did that on the 16th of July 1928, which it is right now. So prepare to see a lot of money going down the drain as we're going to be replacing all of our engines. So yeah, that's gonna happen. For the rest, didn't really do that much, so I think, you know, with that being said and being cleared up, I think we're all ready for giving this station a massive overhaul and redoing the tracks here completely so that it's much higher capacity and much better suited for what we want to do with it. It's going to be a big operation, as not only do we need to upgrade the station's capacity, we also need to do bypass tracks, and the tracks from these stations, they all need to be redone like pretty majorly. So yeah, it's not gonna be a small operation, but I'm sure that we'll manage. So why don't we get right into replacing and building stuff over here, right? Let's get going with it. That is an issue. I did not really consider that, but apparently we're too far spread out. I believe that this one station piece over there is at fault. Let's remove that and see what we can do at that point. So we'll remove that and let's see what we have in terms of station spread allowance. Nice. Alright, let's get going then. What? No, come on. What is happening? Really? Not again. And I was just... Oh. No. I don't even have a mouse, by the way, either now. I don't... Maybe it's recording, but... yeah, that kind of sucks balls. And to be honest, I don't even know why this is. I know for certain that we don't have bridges or tunnels with the signals. And it says something about disable. Right, well, that's a setback. I don't know what it is, but the last few videos it seems like the game has been more and more buggy and crashy than like ever before. Wow, that's just bad, man. I'm pretty sure that whenever I click OK, if I can even... Oh, wait for it. I did saw something react. Oh, balls. Yeah, no. Oh man, this is really bad. Anyway, yeah, I'm pretty sure that whenever I click this, the game will just close and it will be over. However, you can kind of see the design that I'm going for, which is complicated to say the least. But what will happen is that I will, once again, redo all of this and, well, I guess, because right now the game is crashed and I don't feel like redoing everything on camera again. I will show you once we get back the finished results, but in the meantime, what I think is the cause for this crash, but I'm not entirely sure for it, is that I tried to remove tracks on a bridge, because if you look really closely to the right of the error screen near that girder steel bridge, you can see that there is something that looks like a mouse cursor over there. You know, like right below the X and where the border, you know, it's a little bit, you know, it goes from like dark green to that aerial blue type of the Windows settings. That's where the cursor was at, and I think I accidentally tried to remove one of those track pieces with the remove track piece stuff thingy. Which in hindsight, of course, I should not have done. But, well, it has happened. So, yeah, join me next time when we will see the finished results of what I was trying to do here. So, yeah, see you then.